My favorite.
It's Judd's Hockey Show.
I know we all love the weekend. I know it's Friday, so no one wants it to go too quickly. But can it please be 7:10 a.m. Central Time on Sunday right now? Because we've got it. We've got it, folks. The U.S. and Canada gold medal game. Judd's Hockey Show at Zolgad. It's Jessi Pierce, who's decked out. She looks like a wrestler, sort of. You know, you got the garb on. I like it.
You look like who's the American? You look like Cody Rhodes, or like what? Dusty Rhodes, American Dream, American Nightmare.
It's the outfit.
Like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Is he in there somewhere? I could crush.
And you've been slamming drinks, so that makes
go.
perfect sense. And AJ Fredrickson, of course, we are here to talk about, well, a variety of things, but we are going to start off by talking about and breaking down the fact that after Canada barely got by Finland, and I was very glad that they did because I wanted this game. The U.S. Basically drills Slovakia 6-2. And I will say this, if you're a U.S. fan, and we'll start with you, Jess, this felt pretty good because this was a game, like it was 2-0 a little bit over halfway through the second period. And I've never felt like this game's 2-0. It feels like 5-rip right now. Yeah. And so this was a good way, I think, to work your way into Sunday's game. Canada now has had back-to-back just really tough games. Do you feel better about your team now that they handled Slovakia fairly easily today?
So good. And I don't know why heading into today's game. Now, granted, Slovakia was the preferred matchup, right? Finland can be gritty. We saw them put Canada up on the ropes early on. So that was kind of an interesting game to watch, but Canada kind of found a way to do it as they will with the wave upon wave of players that they have. Today was the first game, you guys, that I was oddly calm. I don't know why. I have been such a stress ball this entire tournament, right? Like I have been so nervous that, oh my gosh, this team's not going to medal. I'm not confident in them. And there was never really a reason why. Like I can't put my finger on why. There was just this weird feeling that I'm not fully confident. Today I walked into the game and I was like, no, it's going to be okay. Things are going to be okay. I just felt weird. I think knowing how they got through Sweden, and that was a tense game, right? Like it took everything in them. Quinn Hughes had to come up victorious. Shout out to Ryan Hartman, who also reminded us that he is like all of us. He's like, I watched that and I said, wow, he plays for us. That's pretty sweet. And like, it's just very funny to me that even the players for the Minnesota Wild are like, that's incredible that this guy plays for us. Today I felt calm. And then, they jump out to an early lead and I was never really worried that they were going to squander that at all. I just it felt very, very good. I feel for Samuel Halava, Iowa Wild goalie, who gets yanked after the Team USA chases him, but let's go. It's everything we wanted. We needed this. I am so excited for that alarm to come so early on Sunday. This is the vibe that we're giving. I love it.
Yeah, it was a fun Cinderella story. Like, it was great. And I think he still showed a lot. Like, don't get me wrong. I that changes my opinion on him. And I think the Iowa Wild, like, team down in the AHL. But he can go still win a medal. Like, his Olympics are not over. He can go pull something out against Finland. I don't care. But I'm glad that USA was able to come in to this game, which was, like Jessi said, I think very anticipated. But it was a weird calmness. I felt the entire time. There was no point in the game or in the 60 minutes where I was watching and I was like, you know what? They might be letting this one slip away. They kind of grabbed hold. They got in prime position and they didn't let off the gas pedal. There was a few things, and I'm sure we'll talk about it, that were maybe pet peeves of mine that I was like, I wish we could cut that out, or hopefully we can clean this up before Sunday. But they did what they needed to, walk right through, and I feel very, very confident about the gold medal game on Sunday morning.
I feel like we, and this might be a good thing considering the timing, and of course there will be a day off. Tomorrow is the bronze medal game for men's hockey, the gold, as we talked about on Sunday. I feel like Sweden and Slovakia got flipped. Like today probably should have been Sweden, right? The semifinal. And Slovakia probably should have been a couple of days ago. But if I am the U.S. team, I am certainly not complaining. Let's talk about some performances today, too, because there were some really interesting and good. First of all, Jack Hughes, 2 goals. Brady Tkachuk, 2 points, a goal and an assist. Tage Thompson, who we'll talk about the same thing. Jack Eichel, a big game, a goal and an assist. Zach Werenski on the blue line was fabulous, 3 assists. But it is interesting how if you look at this, the U.S. has had different guys, it feels like, at times step up. The other thing that I've seen the last 2 games, and I felt it was really clear today, is the gelling of the U.S. team as a team. Like when they were starting out, they didn't look they looked like an all-star team. And look, they hadn't practiced together, or if they had, it was like once or twice. So I really feel like, Jessi, that the gelling has taken place. And I'm curious to see how the Canadians look. At times, the Canadians have looked a little bit scattered themselves. So which team is going to be more of a team on Sunday? I think there's an argument, not talent. I think there's an argument to be made that the U.S. feels a little bit more like a cohesive unit at this point than some of the Canadian players do.
Again, it's because of that blue collaredness a little bit, right? Like you have this U.S. team where you've got guys who have to truly go to work, pick up the lunch pail and let's go. Whereas they can't just rely on, to quote our favorite Herb Brooks, talent alone, like Canadians can, right? Like they just have that much talent in their stock crop in Canada. Whereas that's not necessarily the case for the U.S. Again, top end players. I'm not trying to take anything away from the Austin Matthews, but they're not the McKinnon, Celebrinis, McDavids, and Crosbys. They're just not. And that is fine. We all know that. It's been a ton of fun to watch this U.S. team get the performances you need from Quinn Hughes and Jack Hughes now, but you're absolutely right, Judd. The way that it has gone up and down the lineup. Tage Thompson, it's unfortunate. We hope that the injury is not too severe. I didn't see, based on replays, what exactly happened, right? Like I know he left the game. Cross-check?
Cross-check and then a slash right in front of the net late in the second period.
So, I mean, he's a big piece that, especially on special teams, that you need. Tage Thompson, hell of a goal too, by the way. What a snipe from him to extend that lead. And I think, again, build some confidence. But Team USA, I think what's going to be crucial for them is they've had to face that adversity. You go back to the prelims, you look at the box score and it looks like, oh, US swept it. No, they did not. Remember, that wasn't exactly a cakewalk for them necessarily. Now, Canada has faced adversity when it matters most through that quarterfinals and that semifinal. But I also am going to go back to the prelims, and the US is finally looking like they've got their act together, whereas Canada is like, oh, we're on a little bit of shaky ground. They're going to come off this emotional win heading into that gold medal game. But it is everything we want. Like, I'm so excited. Again, I know we talked about it in text messages. I was very torn watching that Canada game because I'm like, it might be kind of easy if Finland bounces them out. I kind of love it, but I would hate it. It would not have the excitement. We've got it all. Team USA, team first. Let's go.
The matchup that we get is, I think, exactly what everybody wants. What I texted you guys was, I obviously, from the hater standpoint, I think it would have been awesome to see Canada get upset and not participate and even have a chance to win the gold medal. But at the same time, if that happens, USA goes in, let's say they just walk through and they win the gold medal for rip over Finland. There is that kind of back in the mind of, well, they kind of got off easy. It gets discounted just a smidge. It's still the Olympic Games, and that's on Canada for not getting there. But also, they didn't have to beat what everybody considers to be the best team in the world, which right now is this Canadians men's team. Now we get it. So now there's even if they lose, I'm not it's going to be a bummer for about 20 minutes. Depending on how they lose, I should say. Depending on how they lose. That's very circumstantial. But it's not going to ruin the rest of my month or year. I before the tournament, I said, the Olympic Games, this is awesome, and I can't wait, but I'm a little removed from, the need to win this. Now that we're here, I think I've crept up close to where maybe Jessi is, where it's I really want that gold. If I wake up, and granted, I wake up on the weekends for, Premier League soccer. I've been watching Tottenham get battered for the past handful of weeks. I have a team now that's able to get me up at 7 a.m. on a Sunday, who I know has the talent and the drive, and how they're playing like a team really, to me, is probably the one thing that I have the most confidence about, which is they look like such a cohesive unit that was missing for some of the prelim games, which is where I was finding a little more nerve than anything. But how they started today and how they played for a full 60 minutes, some of the extracurriculars towards the end, and you saw that kind of Florida rivalry with Chernak and Kachuk kind of come out. I need them to maybe tighten it up a little bit.
What? We do not need that. That's totally about your National Hockey League teams. What the hell was that about? And were Brady and Matthew out there late? You're playing Slovakia, you're about to eliminate them. Like, get that. Don't have them out there. That was that whole thing was stupid. And yeah, that whole thing was based on Matthew and Chernick being on the Florida teams, the opposing Florida teams, and then Brady trying to like defend Matthew's honor. Like, this is the one thing. The Kachucks are fabulous players, but I feel like you need to guard against them being stupid because they don't know when not to be stupid.
Yeah.
And it's like, Brady, let Matthew do his, like, if Matthew wants to do that, okay, but I don't need you jumping in there. It drove me crazy.
It's Eric Chernak. Like, let
right,
it go.
exactly. And you're about to eliminate them. Don't, God forbid, something stupid takes place and you like are susceptible to a suspension. Okay, so let's go to the game on Sunday because I think that there's an interesting breakdown here. Edge and goal, I don't know if there is one. I mean, Binnington beat the U.S. in the OT last year, and he was fantastic. But it's not, if I recall correctly, and don't forget too, in the preliminary round, I guess, of the four nations, the U.S. won. And I don't recall Hellebuck, unless I'm misremembering, falling apart. I mean, Binnington was just great. So I guess you could give Canada a small edge there based on that. But here's where I think the U.S. has a distinct advantage: the blue line. Look at the Canadian defensemen; some of them are up there. They are not super mobile. Drew Doughty plays for him, and God bless him; he's a Hall of Fame player. But when you look at how Quinn Hughes, right? Faber, these kids can move. I think that there is a distinct advantage if you look, and it sounds like Josh Morrissey, who's been out since the first game for Canada, who's very good, might be back, which would help them a lot. But I think that if you were to break this down, I think the place where the U.S. has an advantage is their blue line. Werenski, Quinn Hughes, just go down that entire list. I think the United States clearly gets the check mark over Canada at that spot.
Are we ready to say the thing that I've been wanting to say following these Olympics, that Quinn Hughes is the top defenseman over Cale Makar? Are we comfortable saying? I'm there, you guys. Like, we've always talked, it's a 1-2. You guys aren't. I see a Judd biting his tongue. I'm there. I'm really close. I'm there.
I needed to be a clear head-to-head performance where he is the better guy. Like,
playoff series.
Okay.
Wild abs. Yes. Wild abs. You outplay him, I give you the nod. Like they're very close.
They're very close.
The
gap is closed. I agree, though.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, I've always thought clear Cale, Quinn, no problem with that either, right? Like, that's fine. That's the way it lands up. This Olympics has just been, and maybe it's part of the propaganda that we're being spoon fed, right? Like, I just see Quinn Hughes every single time I turn on the TV, which is fantastic. I would agree with you, though. I think defensively, but that's always been the strong point of Team USA. I think heading into this tournament, right? We knew it, that was going to be it. Big question for Canada is, do you get Crosby back too? Because that gives them that emotional punch that they're going to need as well. Like, you didn't have Crosby today because you're holding him out because you're going to get this old man his medal. And by old, I mean a man that is exactly my age. So, you know what? You're
old hockey-wise, Jessi.
Exactly. I love it. I think that's going to be their edge. And it is just, what is he doing out there? It's incredible what he's able to achieve at his.
It's a miracle of human ability.
So what do you guys think, though? So let's take that now. So if we all agree that the U.S. has an edge in defense, what do we think the matchup is? Because, I mean, when you're starting with just able to, John Cooper, throw together, Celebrini, McDavid, and McKinnon, like, that's a cheat code. That's stupid. So like, where do we put the forward line matchups? I mean, I think Canada has an edge, but like, how close?
Problematic. The biggest thing that the U.S., you can't have the Kachucks running amok because you can't afford to put Canada on the power play. As we saw, that was the undoing of Finland, right? Now, granted, did McKinnon sell that hit at the end? Maybe a little bit, maybe a smidge. Maybe that shouldn't have been called at such a crucial point in the time to put Canada on the power play, and eventually
definitely embellished.
It was a little embellished. And
it was a penalty, but he then embellished it.
But he embellished it for sure. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing that USA is going to have to focus on, is playing within reason. Like, play heavy, play physical, stop these guys, slow these guys down with the body as much as you can. But you cannot take egregious penalties. And that's the thing. You've got Marshy out there who's going to bait just as much as the Kachucks do, right? You've got Tumlet. Like, they have their agitators as well. I think when you match up against, I mean, I kind of want the Kachucks against that McDavid super. I don't know, because part of me doesn't trust them fully, but also again, using the body. Who's going to win your faceoffs too? You want Jack Eichel to win the faceoffs, win the draws as much as you can.
Yeah, we talked about this. I think you have to go. I think what you said initially is right. I think you got to go Eichel against Eichel's line, which obviously involves the Kachucks, against that top line. I think you have to.
Yeah.
I don't see another good matchup. I mean, I think you got to put, especially in the dot, I think you got to put, because you want, if nothing else, playing that line, I want puck possession.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't want
agree.
puck possession. I'm in trouble because those guys are the Harlem Globetrotters of hockey. So yeah, I think you have to take. I don't know if it's a risk. I think you have to take the leap that the Eichel line has to go against the McDavid line.
But that's where I think USA might be able to have a slight edge in the forwards too, which is they have guys who I think can adapt and adjust their game role wise rather than you can't. Not that he can't adapt and do this, but if you ask Connor McDavid, you're right, well, you can't. You can't ask Connor McDavid to play a more defensively style game. Like he's just too good. You have to let that horse out of the stable, right? I think though, if you go to the Eichel line, that you say, guys, we know what you can do offensively. You get in the offensive zone, set it up, and do your thing. But I need you back checking full speed every single time Canada's trying to rush up the ice. There can be no shifts off. There's nothing like that. Finish your checks. And the Kachucks are going to be like, yeah, we'll finish checks. Is that what you want, coach? We'll finish our checks. Yeah. Like they are able to adjust, and then that allows maybe a Gensel, Austin Matthews, Matt Boldy line, who, is it safe to say that I want them to have like a decisive game of these guys are scorers. They need to be scorers. Not that they haven't been producing points, but like I'm waiting for like that Matt Boldy coming out party at the Olympics. He's had some good performances, don't get me wrong, but I want, like we were seeing Quinn Hughes being talked about nationally, trending on Twitter. I need Matt Boldy to do the same thing. Jake Gensel, same thing. Fantastic player. I need, wow, oh my God, Jake Gensel. You cannot stop him. He is an absolute animal. Austin Matthews, you're Captain America. All I've heard for the past 3 months is about how, he might be in, he might be out in Toronto. Like they're reassuring him that they're going to rebuild and build around. Show that you don't need Toronto. You are wearing the C for the United States of America. I need that line to be dominant on Sunday morning. But I think the adaptability of a lot of these lines of USA guys and how Bill Guerin built this roster, making some hard decisions, kind of allows that team to be set up in a spot where they can counter Canada really well. And it's going to be a lot of back and forth, like a tug of war on Sunday morning.
If Eichel if you put the Eichel line on the McDavid line, then it's fair to say that the Matthews line has to score. Like that, because you're going to be, oh my goodness, what's going on there, Jess?
Oh, nice. It was quick, right? It was, can I have some pretzels, please? And I said
good.
yes.
See, you're doing a great job. You're coaching up the kids.
They were supposed to bring a beer in for me, but they forgot.
And of course, you took them to the bar to watch the end of the game. So, but besides that, it's going great. No. So I think if you get the Eichel line against the McDavid line, and that does not mean that the Eichel line can't or won't score, but I think then it's the Matthews, Gensel, Boldy line that steps up to provide scoring as well. So here are Canada's lines, all right? Because this matchup to me is going to be so intriguing because you've got pests on both sides, you've got high-end talent on both sides. So beyond their first line, their second line, when Tom Wilson's been on the right wing on the McDavid line at times, when they need a goal or it's crunch time, McKinnon bumps up and plays wing. But the second line, as listed, is McKinnon, Bo Horvat on the left, Seth Jarvis on the right. The third line, Nick Suzuki, who had that huge tip-in goal, and he saved that game a couple of days ago. He had a great forecheck and then a tip-in goal. Mitch Marner on his right. Mark Stone, who has made some plays on his right. Marner on his left. And then the fourth line, Marchand on the right, Sam Bennett at center, Brandon Hagel on the left. I think up and down between these two teams, I am so curious to see like who neutralizes whom, who bugs whom the most. And then to go back to AJ's point from I think the beginning of this entire thing, how about how Something just crashed. I
We might
heard
get a
it.
2 and
Not
10
my
out in
problem.
the kitchen there.
Sounds like later Jesse's problem. I don't know. A bowl.
That sounded like a Stanley Cup. But to go back to AJ's point too, NBC shows that 4 nations off the face-off brawl, and nobody mentions you can't fight here. Like, you will be ejected from the game. So that's the other thing I want to see. How do these guys, pests on both sides, navigate that as well? So it should be physical, it should be fun, but you don't have the outlet of let's just go and fight.
I think the biggest thing that I have learned about these two teams throughout the course of this tournament too, which has been really fun, like Canada in particular, resilient, right? Like you kind of figured they would find a way to come back against Czechia, against Finland, but they had to be a little resilient. Now I've known that Team USA has to be resilient, so it'll be interesting. Like, I don't think this is going to be necessarily a case where 4 nations, I felt whoever scores first that's the wind out of the sails, right? That team's going to take the victory. Whereas this, I think, is going, like you had said, Judd, it's going to be very much a tug of war. It's going to be very back and back. There is so much like passion for this rivalry right now, right? Like, they're from the outside and especially between those two locker rooms, that I am so excited for this game, for that in particular, because I think it's going to be so much more back and forth. I think you're going to see the pests play their role, but I think they're going to be smart about it because they don't want to get ejected. Nobody wants to be eliminated, removed from this type of game, right? Like,
Right.
And I know hotter heads sometimes don't always prevail, but I think you've seen them keep it in check. Tom Wilson is the one that I guess I'd be more concerned about if I were Canada, because he's the only one that has actually let his emotions get the best of him thus far in this tournament to that extent. I think they're going to just play smart, good hockey. Like, I really do. I think that's what's going to make this matchup so exciting. I've wanted it for so long. Like, I've just been begging for it. And that's where, again, my hesitation came forward with Team USA. Cause I'm like, I want it. I want it for them. So it's the Minnesota sport fan in me, right? Like, I can't trust anything good to happen ever. And I'm very excited.
Well,
So-
and now you're going to get it because these players aren't all from here.
Yes, exactly.
They're not all wearing the
That's a
jersey
valid
of a
point. I should
local
have been
team.
reminding that of myself. Like, you know what? This isn't going to have the Minnesota sports outcome because they're not all Minnesotans.
Exactly
So
right.
we love
Exactly right.
The one thing that I know we've sort of touched on it too, but the special teams for me is, I think, going to be the determining factor for Sunday's game. I don't, and granted, this is including the late one, so it was a 5 power play night for Slovakia. You can't give 5 power plays to Canada to expect to win a game, right? Like,
No, it's a good point.
Slovakia's power play unit and what Canada have are just drastically different. We're talking about right now, and this is without a Sidney Crosby in the lineup, but Sam Reinhart, Macklin Celebrini, Nathan McKinnon, Connor McDavid, Cale Makar. Okay, you fend them off for a minute. Maybe they get tired. They go off to the bench. Mark Stone, Bo Horvat, Nick Suzuki, Shea Theodore, Mitch Marner. That's insane. And not that USA doesn't have great penalty killers. Matt Boldy's one of those penalty killers, and I think he does a fantastic job. But you give him 1 chance, you give him 2 chances, I get it. You could probably come away and maybe fire back. If you give him 4, like in regulation time, and that's taking away like kind of the dumb Kachuk Chernak thing at the end.
Yeah.
That just shrinks that chance to win a gold medal because you're giving them so many chances. And the thing is, as easy as USA made it look today, and as hard as Canada made it look, they have shown, and granted, you have to do this to get to the gold medal game, they've shown that no matter what the circumstances, they just sort of find a way because they're that good. And now if they get a Sidney Crosby back, what does that do in the locker room? They're going to have that sort of rallying point. And I think it was John Cooper who said at one point, like, this is not going to be Sidney Crosby's last game. Well, then it wasn't. They won that game. And if he comes back, every single guy, the maple syrup is going to be flowing stronger than ever in their veins. Like, they're going to want that gold medal. Plus, on top of that, they just have the it factor. They have that killer instinct. You look at the replay on McKinnon's goal with 36 seconds left. Okay, it went to review. They show him on a bench like an ISO shot. Hey, good goal. Are you happy, Nate? No, he's not happy.
He was puking during the game.
Everybody else is, oh my God, you're my hero.
He smiled post game though. He was
okay.
there was so much good emotion, happiness from Nathan McKinnon.
Oh, that's
Incredible.
great. I'm
Well,
glad
and
he
if
showed
the
some
Kachuk,
emotion.
if the Kachucks channel themselves correct, like they are super competitive too. So if they channel themselves correctly on Sunday, I love that, right? like that's the thing is you can't be. I mean, and Nate is clearly one of the best players in the entire world, so he doesn't have this thing. But if you channel that correctly, I feel like this U.S. team has some definite winning type players, but you just can't get. And Jess, you're right. I mean, Tom Wilson is probably of all of the players, including the Kachucks, Tom Wilson is probably the most capable of doing something profoundly stupid on Sunday. Like if you were to set odds, so that's going to be both teams. But yeah, Age, I'm with you. The special teams is huge. I believe in the entire tournament now, Slovakia had one power play goal day, right?
Correct.
Okay, that's the first. I think they had, as you said, 5 chances. So I think the U.S. now, PK wise, in the tournament thus far, is 14-15. But yeah, you cannot be taking penalties. You cannot be now. I will say, keep in mind, if they're offsetting in this format, you stay 5-on-5. But you cannot be going down a man. There is no way. You need to mind your P's and Q's, play a smart game, a physical game, and it should be that. But if either team tries something dumb, and you know what, today, Sam Bennett, who had a nice game at the end of the day, you're an idiot. I mean, he ran the Finnish goaltender. There was no reason. Like that isn't. And yeah,
That's what
I know,
he does,
but,
exactly.
I know, but here would be my, if I was Coop, I would say, Sam, you moron, this is the Olympics. If you sneeze on a goaltender, they want to call it here. Like that's the ruling there. And I know that it's officials, or a bunch of officials from the National Hockey League, but like on Sunday, you got to stay away. Like you can go create traffic in front, but you got to be careful about that. So yeah, that goes for both sides. Now let's go back. A history lesson, kids. I looked this up. A history lesson of best on best between the red, white, and blue and Canada. All time. So, and this is best on best. So it starts with the Canada Cup way back when. Olympic-wise, 1998. In the Olympics, Canada wins 4-1. In 2002, for the gold, Canada wins 5-2. In 2004, in the World Cup of Hockey, Canada wins 2-1. In 2010, in the Olympics, the U.S. won 5-3, and then Canada came back to win 3-2. If you recall, the golden goal by Crosby in Vancouver. In 2014, in the semis of the Olympics in Sochi, Canada wins 1-rip. In 2016, the World Cup, Canada won 4-2, and then in 25, the U.S. won 3-1. Canada then came back in the championship game, won 3-2 in OT. The all-time best on best to go back to the Canada Cups as well. Canada 14-4-1 against the U.S. That needs to end on Sunday. As I said at the outset of this tournament, I'll say it again. It is time. It is time for a gold, and it is time for this country to win its first gold in the Olympics in men's hockey since 1980.
You know what? I'm sick and tired of hearing about what a great hockey team Canada has. All right.
There it is.
I
Tired.
We
Might beat us. Play them 10 times. Might win 9.
The thing is, I think this team could probably beat them more than just one time. But,
This is the best team that they've unveiled, right? Sorry, not to cut you off,
you're good,
Age,
you're good.
right? Like this is, I think, USA Hockey has proven not just on this stage, but in all the stages that come before this. World Juniors, World Championships last spring, right? They have proven that they've put the work in. And I think the biggest area where USA Hockey has always lagged internationally has been goaltending. And it's hard for them to produce and develop good goaltenders. They've been doing that. Like you have Connor Hellebuyck, which if I say it wrong, I apologize. I work very hard on my pronunciation.
You're close enough. No, you're fine.
I think
People are
I
fine.
nail
You're
it.
close.
Connor H. Connor H looks fantastic in the pipes. So I think that is a huge leg up. And I think this is the US generation, maybe, if not team, that is going to, it's closed that gap enough. Like now it's not big brother, little brother. It is, they're together, step brothers. My dad's not helping. Do you hear my dad back there? That was
is that your dad? I was going to say, that's a low voice.
Yeah. I dressed him up today too with a flag.
I
and a
saw
jersey.
that. Yeah, that was very cool.
Yeah, that's what I do. But that was what I needed to interject and say. Like this is why it is, because it's USA Hockey has put the work in to create the team, and I finally think that that's come to fruition, showing on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
I need this men's team to start playing like women. Start taking a book out of the women's USA.
That's a good
team.
transition, because I did want to talk about that, because we've
It's
had-
frankly injustice that we're about
Great.
half hour in here hanging out with about 360 people on the brand new Judd's Hockey Show YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't yet. That we haven't mentioned the gold medal for the U.S. women's team, who extend their winning streak over Canada to 8 games in a row. The men need to take a page out of their book. Make it happen on Sunday. Granted, it was a real thriller. You know, you go to overtime, Megan Keller, American hero, Hillary Knight, Captain America with dying seconds, ties it up. How about you just do the same thing? Like they've set the table for the most annoying American
OT?
hockey discussion for the next handful of years. You have the gold medal on the women's side. It's yours there for the taking on the men's side. Just do it. Give me the clean sweep.
I agree with you completely. Just a couple of tweaks personally for me on Sunday compared to what we saw on Thursday. First tweak, play a more complete game. The women had me very scared. I thought they were done for. And then they took a dumb penalty late. I'm like, oh my God, they have come unglued completely. Now, Knight ties it with that deflection, which was great. They come back and win. But I would like the men to play a more complete game and avoid OT. I'm sorry, but if you want the United States to win, I got no interest in 3-on-3 going against McDavid. Who starts? McCarr, McDavid, McKinnon?
Yeah, easy. And then you go. God, who would be the next 3 that you go?
Give me a 5-on-5 win in 3 periods, Jessie. I got no interest in that.
I know.
I got no interest. God bless Quinn Hughes. I think he's fantastic in 3 on 3. And if this was a wild conversation, I'd say bring it on. But when you're talking
I still remember so vividly 2010. And my pain will be like, it'll be Sidney Crosby that scores the game winner in overtime.
And that was
anyway.
4-on-4,
it doesn't
right?
even matter. Yes, it was 4-on-4.
at the
And
time.
I just, oh my God, it still just haunts me to this day. Like, just, of course it was him. Like, why would it? Sort of like, of course it was Hillary Knight. Well, back to the women's game. The thing that drives me nuts, and this goes back to what we've discussed about how poor the marketing has been around the Olympics and being able to clip things and stuff. Taylor Heisey's pass up to Megan Keller was absolutely phenomenal. But unfortunately, you don't see that in any of the clips, because anybody that tries to clip it and show, like, look at this heads up play by Heisey, who gets the puck all the way down ice to Keller. No disrespect to Keller too, but like, let's get the complete sequence of that situation, that game-winning goal, plus because she's Minnesotan and we love her dearly. But it was a hell of a pass to find Keller, who then dangles on a game-winning goal.
How about that play?
So good.
I mean, she went right. She essentially went
and
right.
Claire Thompson is phenomenal too as a
know.
defenseman, right? Like, we saw her as a member of the Minnesota Frost, and that was one of the big poaches that they had in the expansion. And Claire Thompson's a phenomenal defenseman, but you could see her just get spun around and be like, where did she go? Like, where did who go? I forgot what movie that's from. It's from a movie. Nobody remembers that movie. It's a good movie.
No, I'm not real good with that stuff. It depends on the film. Slapshot, I got your back. Slapshot.
It's a sports movie.
Miracle, I probably know.
He was over there. Where did who go? I'll think of it.
But that game was that game was fantastic too. And we have seen on both sides of the men's and women's tournament how many fantastic games have we seen now. Like that U.S. Canada game on Thursday probably didn't do a lot for people's hearts, but what a game that was. And I do have a theory here, okay? And it didn't work, fortunately, but I sent my friend this note. So with Marie.
Sorry, the movie was Top Gun. That's exactly what
Top
it was.
Gun wasn't a sports movie.
It wasn't. It's a favorite. It was, that's right. It is when they're battling.
There we go, right there.
Yeah.
So with Poulin out of that first game, my theory is this. I think they rope-a-doped us. I think they rope-a-doped the United States. They played so poorly. They got drilled 5 rip. Their best player was out. It was pool play, so it doesn't eliminate you. I swear to God, because how they came back and played on Thursday, Canada, was such a more disciplined, smart game. And the U.S. still won, but it took a lot of work. I think we got rope-a-doped. I think those damn Canadians tried to fool us. And we didn't, we fell for it for the most of the game. But then we got the goal and then won it. So good for that team.
Yeah.
Judd is a coach all about the mental mind games. It's not really about all the play. They were without MPP.
Yeah. Well, and she's fantastic. But they didn't play a game that, like, they didn't play a game on Thursday that like was like, okay, our best player's back. Let's go offensive now. They locked her down.
You're talking about like a Greg Maddux level of like long play. Because there's that clip. There's that clip of him where he's on the Braves or whatever, and they're like, yeah, we might face the Astros in the playoffs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pitch up and into whoever, Bagwell, and he's going to hit a tank. And then, like, I know 2 months later in the playoffs, he's going to be looking for that pitch. That is not a chance what happened here. You think they walked in and they're like, guys, we're going to throw this game.
I think they did not play with any structure. I think their best player was out in pool play, and they're like, whatever. Their coaching staff was. And then I think they came back with a great, coherent game plan. And look, I mean, the game was fantastic. But, I mean, I really did think late, this game's done. They're going to lose 1-0 to the damn Canadians after, as Jessi said, 7 consecutive wins at the time?
Yep. And Erin Frankel played phenomenal throughout the entire tournament.
Great.
He is robbed. Now, I understand where Canada's goalie was probably more MVP to their team, but Erin Frankel, how do you not give her the all-star of this tournament? Like, she stopped, 91 shots, allowed 2 goals the entire tournament? Like, give me a effing break. Like, that was highway robbery. Not that she seems like a person that needs those accolades, but my goodness, like, what?
No, she was great, but I think the problem is the team. I think the issue is the team is so good that people assume she's not that important. But then if you watch the games, I don't know how you still think that.
Well, she didn't even win goalie of the tournament. It went to the Swiss goalie.
Went to the Swiss, yeah.
Who probably stood on her head because her team was not as good. But that's still not fair.
Oh,
right.
Agreed.
I mean,
Like,
she
she
had Carolyn
deserved
Harvey
it.
in front of her. I understand that, but still.
Right. No, it's not fair. But I will say this: the future of that program to me is in such great shape, though, because, and I brought this up the last time that we talked about the team was, when you look at the contributors, right? Like at the end of the day, Knight scores that huge goal. It's what her 15th goal, which sets a U.S. Olympic record, broke Darwitz's record, right?
Or Darwitz held that, and that's how long these records have been intact on the women's side, right? Like, and that's how good Natalie Darwitz was at that level. She has record for most points in a game, most points in a tournament, like all of this. So I think, it was 15 to surpass Natalie's 14. But it was funny because I was watching it with Heather Rule, good friend of the show as well. We love the rules as we talk about. And I said, I need it to be Knight because I need her to get that goal, that history-breaking goal on this tie. So for her to do, you know how hard it is to tip that shot that she tipped to? Hell of a shot from Layla Edwards to begin with. But for her to find her stick intentional, like, incredible. Absolutely phenomenal.
And she was turned fully, as I recall, back to the net.
Yeah. Yep.
So like it's not like a side tip where you sort of have an idea. Like she literally, that was nuts. But this program,
Shout out to Quinn Hughes watching that game, seeing ghosts
Jack
in real time too. I only saw the Quinn because of course my whole Twitter feed is full of Quinn things all the time now. But yeah, loved it.
They were up with so they were in their seats for most of the game, and then I guess towards the end they went up to join Tom Brady in his suite. And so Jack and Quinn. But the funniest thing is there's a picture out there today of Brady with the brothers. And, of course, he's got his arm around the bigger winner, Quinn. It's like, and Jack's smiling to the side, and Brady's
excited.
Like, my man, Quinn.
Let me ask you guys that then. I think that's a fun little talker because, Jessi, I don't have the timestamp here, but I have you on record saying you're coming around on maybe Jack Hughes being a guy for Bill Guerin to go out and maybe acquire. I know a lot of people in the comment section here over the past couple of live shows have said, I need Brady Tkachuk in green. I know Tage Thompson has been in the eyes of Judd here for the past, what feels like a year and a half now, going back to last deadline. If there was one, who are the realistic options, maybe on this Team USA, that if you said Bill Guerin, trade the farm, that's your Wallstead, that's your next first round pick, that's, prospects and whatever else. Who's impressed you the most here over these past couple of games?
You're killing me with the realistic options part, though, of that entire equation, right? Because
I'm going to take out like an Austin Matthews.
Well, Tage Thompson is out now, too, because Buffalo's played well now.
Good, and he's hurt now.
Jack Hughes is in it.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Hughes is in that conversation. The Devils have claimed they're going to do something major to shake things up. Now, I think their goal is to shake things up around Jack. But if you make the phone call to Billy, or heck, I mean, for all I know, their GM Tom Fitzgerald is there. in Italy, Jack Hughes is a realistic ask.
Realistically, yes. I'm way in on Jack Eichel. I've been so just blown away. Like I've known again another player. Like I know. Don't look at me like that. I see
Sorry,
what you're
Jack Eichel?
Yes, I said Jack Eichel. I
Well,
really
she's
like
back in
that
on
Jack
him, but
Eichel.
he ain't coming here. think is
I
what
know
she
he's
said.
not. He's not. He's
Oh,
my
okay.
unrealistic option. That's
Gotcha.
what I'm
Okay,
saying.
okay.
He's my because that's
He was
who I really
available.
want.
He was
I
available, Jessi.
Yeah. And I don't think I would have been that. Like I don't been really just. I watch a lot of him throughout the course of this tournament. Like, and again, that's because he's so strong up the middle. Like I have zero concern about him winning a draw. And now I might say that I say that same thing when Vegas is in town or whatnot. But I'm back in on Jack Hughes, the realistic option. However, we'll remove the other Jack Eichel because that's never going to happen. We get it. I know. Wah. But I think. I don't know what you can move. What do you move for him? You don't have enough. I don't, because now you can't trade Jesper now. You can't. You got to see how Gus comes back.
Not unless the Slovakian goaltender are going to come up and
Got to
backstop
see
you.
how Gus comes back. Your strongest asset are prospects. And I don't know that New Jersey is going to say we're in a full rebuild type of situation.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of little guys. And again, I'm not saying Jack Hughes. This is the one thing I want to scream from the top. I don't care about the brother aspect. I really, really, truly don't. I don't know that those boys care as much as the media makes it seem that they care. I think they have said the comment of, yes, it'd be great to play with my brother, because of course it would be. Why wouldn't they say that? I'm not saying I want Jack Hughes here to help keep Quinn by any stretch. I think I want Jack Hughes here because he is a good player that will help the Minnesota Wild win a Stanley Cup.
The problem is he doesn't win faceoffs by any means.
Yeah.
He's actually
exactly.
He
and
somehow
that's
would
my
be
concern.
worse.
Right.
He
Like
would
he's
make the
almost
Wild
been
worse
better.
somehow.
He's better on the wing than he is as a centerman sometimes, I think, and you've seen that throughout the course of this tournament. But I do love the versatility, and that's why my heart immediately goes to Jack Eichel, because I'm like, I need that face-off win guy. I need that guy. I need that guy that I have zero worry about going to the circle and being like, all right, let's just win the draw. Cool, thanks, bye.
What's your current thoughts then, both of you, on Trocheck, who we've seen play a very specific role here, but he can win faceoffs, I believe, correct? Age, he can win some faceoffs.
Yes, he can.
He is a professional, very good veteran through and through, with plenty of term left on his contract. If he is the option, and it's going to cost you, compared to the start of the tournament to now, with what you've seen, where do you guys stand on Vincent Trocheck from the Rangers?
For the record, it's about a 20-point difference, 20% difference in face-off percentage for Jack Eichel and Vincent Trocheck.
Yeah, Trocheck would be your face-off. I mean,
yeah,
just that simple.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I think he was very underwhelming, right? But so were a number of players. I think JT Miller. I'm not taking back what I said because he performed the way he did, but JT Miller has really shown up in a lot of areas. And again, Trocheck, huge on the PK and on special teams in general. And again, a lot of that goes to his face-off win ability. So I don't hate it. I think he's more affordable too than a big swing on Jack Hughes. Now, granted, maybe his stock goes up with New York. So they're like, hey, did you see what our boy did over there in the Olympics? You see what he can do? We're going to raise that price on you, Billy. You know you liked it.
And you might not like the price.
You might not like the price.
I feel like with Jack, it would be a little bit more like, oh my God, they got Jack Hughes. Unbelievable. Oh, they paid this. Oh, that's a lot. But I feel like Trocheck, there will be more like sticker shock because it's Trocheck.
Especially after they got robbed with Breadman, right? Like, I mean, frankly, like they were handcuffed there by being like, oh, LA's. Well, he did. So to their point, we got to try to recoup something because we faltered that so poorly. Now this situation, Vinny doesn't have complete control, right? Like they're not going to give him the keys to the car to the drive off. So interesting.
I'd be fine with Trocheck, but it's just the price. And I'm just nervous the price is going to be a lot higher just because of what Judd just said. And plus, if you look at the history, I right now still, I'm on the record, so I have to stand by my statement. I trust Bill Guerin. I do, especially after the Quinn Hughes trade. It's hard to not like back a guy like that. He clearly has a vision. But if you sort of look at the history, it feels like it's really good trade that benefits the team. What are you doing? Really good trade that benefits the team. How did you do this deal? You look at Juracek. You look at Nyquist last season. I don't know where those came from, and I feel like it's sort of in the same boat of for Nyquist, where it's like we're getting there. Trade deadline's coming up. Everybody knows you need a center. You know you need a center. What are you gonna do?
Does Trocheck know how to stay on sides though? Like, does he know how to stay on side? Like, I guess that would be a concern.
He showed this Olympics. He can
sign him up.
In
Already
fairness,
a better deal.
in fairness, I think that Gus was. I think the issue also was salary cap. Like I think Billy was trying to add guys from the bargain bin because he couldn't absorb as much contract. And I think with Trocheck, they can definitely absorb that. So that might be a difference. But I'm just saying, yeah, the sticker shock is going to be there. But can you afford not to have a guy that can win faceoffs? And I don't think you can. Like we've seen it throughout these games. We talked about this 2 days ago. You've seen the importance of winning faceoffs consistently, and you do not want to get to the playoffs, go to OT against the team in the first round against Dallas. In Game 6, have a draw, you lose the draw, therefore you lose the game because you were trying to have Urov or whomever win a faceoff. Like that's the conundrum here.
And I think we all agree the Wild are all in at this point. They are completely 110% whatever it takes to get what you need, whatever piece that is. And it's up the middle. And it's going to be a lot. I want to remind people that you guys some of you, there was a very hard line of some of you who did not care for the Quinn Hughes trade. You thought they gave up too much. They gave up Z William. How could you? How could you give up Liam Ogren? How could you give Reminder, this has worked out pretty well in favor of the Minnesota Wild. But there was a good chunk of you that had this next trade's going to be very similar to that. If Bill Guerin finds the right dance partner, it's going to be similar. It's going to be the guys that you don't want to part with. It's going to be the players that are probably might be a Jonas Brodin, right? It might be now Broads again back in St. Paul. We don't know what his timeline of return looks like. He will return after this break, but he's a favorite and he's skilled and he's good, but you need to give up good to get good too. So that's the other thing. Now, a Trocheck, does he warrant that good of a player for return? Probably not. That's the tough thing.
I don't think the Rangers would want Broads back though, because of age and injury history. I think they're going to want your young, like your young players. I think they're just going to want a ton back. Like they'll want Strommel for sure. They'll want your 27 first round pick for sure. I'm guessing they'll want Urov.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know. That's
like, this is the sticker shock I'm talking about, kids. This is what we might have to accept.
And that's okay. You got to accept it. Do you want the Stanley Cup, mate?
Age is not happy about this. Look at Age.
I've pigeonholed myself. Sorry, what was that?
What about Hunter Haight? You good with getting, what's he done for you lately?
Yeah, that's fine.
Hunter Haight is a lot easier than Urov.
Yes. I could live with that. It's just I think I've pigeonholed myself into a spot where I expected a big name, younger guy with some term, and that's where you're moving Wallstead. I refuse to believe that these past 2 weeks have pushed out any opportunity for them to even consider moving on from Jesper Wallstead. I still love Wallstead. I think he's going to be a fantastic goalie. And if they hold him through the deadline, I'm going to be fine with that. That's great. That's a great guy to have on your team. I don't want to see a Urov go as well because, one, it's a center. Two, he is young and he's shown I can be here and I can play here. And when's the last time they showed they let a young guy actually play and then back him and they moved on from Marco Rossi.
Rossi.
They've said, and I think rightfully so, Danil Urov can play for this team, and he's played a pretty good role. I don't think he's a top-line center right now by any means, but he is looking like a damn good third-line center who's playing on this team and really, for a rookie season, holding his own.
Yeah.
I would be amiss to say it would pain me a bit to watch another center that this team wants to just okay, we're going to move on from you for an older guy, but granted, you might have to.
He's not going to win a face-off in Game 6.
That's the hard thing.
Is it harder to swallow if it's for a rental? Right?
Yes.
Is there, that stipulation also has to be considered. That's going to be even more difficult if you're yep, we'll give you away for a guy that we hope resigns here in the summer. We don't know. He might not. If you win a Stanley Cup, obviously that's going to solve a multitude of problems in not only the win, but he's probably going to want to come back. He's probably going to say this fit pretty well, but it's a job I don't envy, I guess, sometimes for Bill Guerin, right? I know we think we can do it, and I think I can. I think I would do a fantastic job at it, mostly as the assistant to the assistant. I already know that, but it's you got to give a lot to take, and that's what it's going to come down to.
Well, Trocheck has term left. Is Ryan O'Reilly in the last year in Nashville? Well, I mean, I love
I
O'Reilly,
think
but I'm
he's
saying
at least I want to say maybe another year, right?
okay.
And he's very happy in Nashville from what I've deduced.
Okay. Well, yeah, they have said that he doesn't have a no trade, but they will only send him where he wants because I mean, why wouldn't you want to make the player happy as possible? Why would you want to do what's best for your team? This is you know what? Everyone should just be frozen. You know what? We shouldn't have a trade. March 4th, let's forget about it. Let's just let everybody have fun. We'll do picnics together. We'll do team outings. We'll have treat tickets. Let's just treat it like a minor league, a minor men's or boys sport. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I don't want anyone traded. I love everybody.
I did see, and I forget who had tweeted out, so I apologize for not giving the reporter or the source the main credit, but that they had heard that Nashville is looking to do a whole lot of big moves following the Olympic break. Did you guys see that too?
And Barry Trotz is stepping down, so he's not going to be there, which I'm guessing Bruno gets blown out after the season, unfortunately for him.
Yeah.
So here's where the Wild is sort of being screwed, though, and this is true of teams that are competitive. You know what really sucks is Buffalo got good.
Yeah.
You needed Buffalo. Buffalo had some nice. I mean, Tuck's going to be a free agent. Now, he would be a great rental, and he might be a guy that a good team can sign long term. Our guy, Tage Thompson. I think you could have at least explored that. He's one of my favorites. I love the size.
Never once is like
He's Bobby
time he's
Smith.
been in Minnesota is to play here.
No. He's my guy. Our guy, Tage Thompson. He is great. But I mean, Buffalo had a lot of like parts to trade off.
Young parts, especially.
Young parts. Yeah,
right.
Young parts and productive parts and guys that could step in and play well. Well, Buffalo is now extremely competitive. And if they're not in, and I think they are, they're right around a playoff spot. The team that's taken off of late is Columbus. I'm curious to see what they do.
Fantilli?
But I mean, they've taken off now, so they've won like 10 of 11. This is like Bizarro world.
Should have held on to Dino for a couple more weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry,
Exactly.
I know
Poor Dino, right? Like that's two coaches. He's been fired, and then all of a sudden the team just surges.
I think the
They're
Buttes.
Like, hey, DK, we can play hockey.
I think the Buttes should pay Dean to make like a monthly appearance.
Yeah, pay him with what money? Hey,
trying to
speaking
find
of, if
work.
you guys want to sponsor Bar Down Beauties, hop on as advertisers.
Yeah, just get an advertiser.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Find out what Dean's bar of choice was here back when he was
He's a
coaching.
big golfer.
for a
He was
while.
mostly the golfer,
Okay.
so we got to get him, lock him in on a golf course.
Well, there you
Golf
go.
season's
You
coming up. Boom.
and you've got
I got golf courses,
got
Loggers Trail.
connections.
Yep, we got
You've
it.
got connections. All right. Final thoughts. Beyond, we all can't wait for 7:10 a.m. Central Sunday.
I'm just very excited, right? I know you guys are going to come for me that I had said I was worried the U.S. team would melt. That came out of just anxiety and concern. I know. I'm sorry. But I'm happy I'm wrong. I'm thrilled I am wrong because as my outfits have shown for every broadcast, I want this so bad for the U.S., but that's the problem. I want it so bad. I'm concerned. I got up early for Sochi games, like prelims. I have no problem getting up early for Sunday. I'm locked in. I'm gonna be up at 6. I'm gonna be so excited. I might not sleep until then. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Because I have
You'll just
kids,
be
and
drinking
that's
all
why.
night,
I'll just gosh, gonna go down
Just
real smooth tonight.
doing shots.
But I'm excited. I'm hoping for just a really good close game, and I think it will be. I think these two teams throughout the course of this Olympic Games have shown us so much that I think it's going to be tight. I felt like in Four Nations, even despite the score, that Canada just had that edge. They had that, like they had gotten into the Team USA's heads. I don't think that's going to be the case this go around, and I hope not, because I want a very, very good hockey game. I want to be on the edge of my seat as much as that hurts my heart, and I want to be running into the snow in a American flag bikini at the end of it all, waving the American flag with a gold medal.
I'm not even going to comment. It's 2026. I'm not. There's nothing that pops into my brain. I going to say.
I admit it. That's what I'm gonna have to do
I
it
know,
for the
I know.
viewers, for the followers.
I know.
That's what we do. Committed to the bit.
In 2010, I remember I was outside skating next to the rink next to my parents' house. And then my dad was like, come on in. Like, it's interesting. I remember watching the second period. I remember watching the third period. I remember watching overtime and being heartbroken at this point, I think it was 12. Sidney Crosby ends it. Boom. Well, all these years later, I'm going to be waking up, making coffee, being ready. Keep in mind, we're going to be live after the game, everybody. So if you're hanging out now, you like what you're seeing, come back on Sunday morning. I think this script's going to be flipped. I'll give you my prediction right now.
Give it to me.
3-2 USA in overtime. Minnesota Wild players will account for at least 3 points in the game.
I like it.
Goals and assists. Goal
I had 3-2
contributions.
written down too, but I don't think it goes to. I think
I'm
it's
gonna go 4-3.
periods.
I'm gonna go 4-3 then. Just
4-3.
Yep.
I'm
Sorry.
going 3-2. 3 periods, not OT. The GWG Boldy tips in a Quinn Hughes shot.
Minnesota Wild. Twitter.
Because I do
and
agree
online
with like the
presence gonna
point about
explode.
Boldy, like, and he's been good, but I do agree with the point. Like, I think there's something else there, like what the Canadian win in OT a couple of days ago, where Marner scored, right, the
Yeah.
winning goal.
Yep.
I feel like we're gonna get that type of moment from Boldy, like just something where
It's
it's,
been
like, oh my,
festering and festering's
Yeah.
gross. Boiling.
it's boiling. No, festering's
Bouldering.
fine. Yeah. But I feel like there's something there. And I mean, Quinny's going to throw him the pass. And Boldy scores the goal. And then it's like, oh my God, Matt Boldy. Where I got a feeling about it. I got a good feeling about this game. So yeah, I'm in lockstep with AJ on the final score though. 3-2 revenge for the 4 nations last year.
Over under on 1/2 ejections.
If it's 3-2, it's so close. I don't think there's any ejections.
I don't think.
I
there's any
think
ejections
everybody's going to
either.
be in line. There's going to be some grit, and there's probably going to be some extracurriculars, but I think they're going to let stuff go.
John Cooper and Mike Sullivan too also don't seem like coaches I want to disappoint in a big situation like that. Like I think they both have a ton of respect from their team and their players, and that's why they're performing. So I think, yeah. Oh, it's gonna be good. I'm so excited.
If it is not a close game, which I fully expect it will be, if it is not a close game, the ejection's over. And my biggest fear then is, as I told Dawn, I said, if that's the case, not everyone is going to come home. And she said, someone's going to die. And I said, no, just from a hockey standpoint, someone's going to get hurt badly. So like I want a tight game. Like I do not want, if Canada's down 6-2, Lord help us. Tom Wilson's out there. Like something stupid will happen.
And a young fan from Sicily is going home with Jordan Binnington's stick after he generously launched it into the lower bowl.
Exactly. I just don't want, I do not want a lopsided game. Well, one, because I want as tight a game as possible because it's just more fun. But two, I would be very afraid that we would then have just chaos.
Anarchy.
Like third period chaos, which we don't need.
No.
We don't need. All right, Jessi, you go take care of the kids. Great job.
Okay.
My dogs were barking, so we all have our problems. Jessi's got her glasses though. I think we're all about to go sip some celebratory drinks, if I am not mistaken, on this Friday. As AJ said, we will be back on Sunday. We will be going live immediately after the game, probably end around 10 something.
Yeah, it's usually about a 3 hour. Well, is it
Okay.
is it 7:10 puck drop?
7:10 a.m.
7:10,
Central
yep.
time.
Yeah, so it's about
8:10
3
Eastern.
hours. We'll probably be
Yep.
live about 10 a.m.
Okay. And if you have found us, the new Judd's Hockey channel, we certainly appreciate that. Like, subscribe, do all of those things as we continue to grow this. Jessi, hopefully you have time to join us on Sunday. I don't know if you have
I
church
will
or something.
try. I'm
Yeah,
I
thought you might
love
be at
that
church.
that you think that I have a lot of things to atone for, I'm sure. But no, there is wild practice at
Maybe she might be
11
in church
a.m.
listening to the gospel of Tom Wilson.
That's
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
Hockey is my church at most times when I can choose it. But Wild do have practice at 11, so I will try to join you guys. But I think some of the Swedes might be rejoining the group, and obviously I want to get some reactions from
Can we
those guys.
Can we back that practice up a bit?
Yeah, I would love to.
That's a pretty aggressively early practice butted up against
against guys that are
like you guys
going
just
to
took
watching the
like
game.
3 weeks off and now it's like we got to get back to work.
They have. I will. You know
Whoa.
what? I will say this. They have been up and working that up.
We
and
got
down
to
the
get
ice
but now we
with
got to practice at 11.
with
That
their
is the
team.
most un-Judd Zolgad thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah,
you
that's
want
a
to give
good
these guys
point.
time off?
No, I
play
want to
on
just start
Thursday.
practice at like noon.
No, what they're running a tight
They
ship over there.
gotta get in shape,
I
man.
love
They've
this
been
league.
drinking
I love
drinks
this
from
league.
Costa Rica.
Let's
like-
everybody take some time off for the Olympics. Now let's get back to work.
Yeah.
Give me a
let's go back.
break. Choose your hard. Choose your path, Minnesota Wild, and the rest of you
Get
in
the
the
hard
National
chain out.
Hockey League. All right, we're done. Jessi, AJ, Judd, we'll see ya later. Choose your hard.